glad to have you back again. Did you enjoy the exercise? Did you enjoy using the 7-step process? Well, one of the things I didn't share with you on that is how using the 7-step process can move you from that point of awareness to the point of mastery. So let's think about it. We start at that point of awareness where we now become consciously incompetent, okay? And we can recognize that current reality of ours. So now what we've kind of done is kind of turn the 7-step process on its side. Our current competence level, our current reality, is not where we want it to be. So we can set a target, a small goal that moves us towards mastery. And then when we hit that goal, we've closed the gap, we set the new vision, and we keep, if you will, using the 7-step process iteratively over and over again until we're able to obtain that new vision, until we reach the point of mastery. It can work with goals, it can work with skills, it can work at times on even how we think at times. But we'll get to that more as we move forward. Let's move now to the 6th core competence that I've wanted to share with you, and that is the 4 quadrants of energy. So let's start by thinking about a scale. And that first scale is from negative energy to positive energy. Next, we add the second scale, which is from low energy to high energy. This creates 4 quadrants that we're going to talk about. The first quadrant is high positive energy. The second quadrant is high negative energy. The third quadrant is low positive energy. And lastly, low negative energy. So let's put some descriptors in each of those 4 quadrants, okay? First one, high positive. Enthusiastic, active, exhilarated, pumped, energized, full on. You know, even as I say those words, you feel the high energy, don't you? But now, let's look at some descriptors of some high negative energy. Mad, arrogant, frustrated, anxious, angry, disruptive, anxiety-ridden, cynical. There's a different tone in my voice, and there was still a lot of energy on even as I said those words, but it was a totally different tone, wasn't it? I did that intentionally because that was a negative tone as opposed to some of the excitement and enthusiasm on the positive tone. Let's look at another quadrant, low positive. Satisfied, serene, calm, absorbing, thinking, recovering. I think you could hear the positive tone, but it was a lower, not high energy, low positive energy. Still positive. Every one of those descriptors was positive, but it was a lower energy level that needed to be exerted. Lastly, let's look at low negative. This is where we find bored, lazy, disappointed, apathetic, turned off, drained, resigned, burnt out. Low energy level with a negative emotion tied to it. So we've talked about those 4 quadrants and we've given a descriptor in each of those 4. So let me ask you this question. In which of those 4 quadrants do you think we move forward the most? Yeah. It's that high positive energy. When we're excited, we're enthusiastic, we're energized, we're active. That's where we make our positive progress. Well, that's when we're fully engaged. Well, ask yourself, have I ever been active and engaged, energized, enthusiastic? Did I make progress towards my goals, towards my dream, towards my visions when I did that? Yeah. What about when I was angry, upset, cynical? Have you ever been in any of these emotional moods? Quite possibly. And did you make progress forward or go backwards? Usually, we're not moving forward there. Have you ever been relaxed and calm? Think about what happened when you were in that quadrant. And lastly, what did you do when you were depressed, resigned, turned off, burnt out? Did you make progress there? Probably not. See, we're fully engaged in that upper right quadrant, right? And the reality is that every day we see people in all four of those quadrants, don't we? Matter of fact, if you go drive in a major city, I'll bet you can see all four of those energies, all four of those quadrants demonstrated. You know, there are some people who they just get on the highway and it's gonna take me an hour and 25 minutes to get from point A to point B. Isn't it awful? But it happens. It's just the way it is. You know, that's that low positive, I'm resigned. It's what I've got to do every day, so I'll just do it. And then you've also seen road rage, hadn't you? Somebody cut you off, or you may have not driven exactly the way they want you to, and they come up by you and they honk on the horn and send you the middle finger salute, don't they? Yeah, that's not too good. And there have even been people injured when people's anger goes to rage. That's clearly a high negative energy. But haven't you also seen people that use that commute time, use that time on the road just to relax? Some people may play classical music and just relax. Some people will use that time and carpool and will actually even fall asleep. And then there are others that they're excited and engaged while they're in that traffic. They find it as an opportunity to use it as a traveling university. They may go on a satellite radio and listen to a comedy. They may use it as time to enjoy their favorite music. They may use it as a time to study, to learn through a podcast or a positive audio. There are different ways that you can demonstrate positive energy even while you're in a negative situation. So the same situation, and those are examples of how all four different quadrants of energy may be displayed. Now, that might be the reality that people cycle through, or you even cycle through those four quadrants of energy. But let's talk about a couple of cycles. One really, really good and one not so good. You know, the not so good cycle of energy I call the negative cycle. That's where you tend to cycle most of the time between high negative energy to low negative energy. You go into the high negative quadrant and maybe being mad, and then may even turn into anger or cynicism, and then you cycle back to the low and you get drained and resigned, and cycle back getting mad again and drained of energy, and cycle back getting mad and keep getting back and forth. But you're always on that negative side of the energy scale. But then what we really want to create is the positive cycle. We want to be on the high positive energy where we're enthusiastic and energized, but you know, just like a car battery, or just like the battery in a child's toy, or even my golf cart, it can't go forever. It can't go fully engaged, fully being switched on, it has to be recharged. And that's where we recharge in the low positive. That's where we use different tools, different techniques that help us recharge so we can be fully in charge. And that cycle, we start from fully engaged to becoming strategically disengaged so that we can fully engage again. That's one of the keys to success, that positive cycle. Full engagement to strategic disengagement to full engagement to strategic disengagement to full engagement. And we want to be able to do it not just in physically, but we want to be able to do it in the 4 energy areas of our life. And what are those 4 energy areas? It's our spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical energies. We're going to talk about that more as now we get into the material of the Successful Life course.